Hello, YouTubers. This is Tammy with Elevated Living Today, with ElevatedLivingToday.com. Thank you for tuning into my channel. I know I have been away for a while and I have missed you guys, but I am back. I want to fill you all in on what has been going on with me. Hold on a second. I want to fill you guys in on what's been going on with me. Um, well, I know that I had started my weight loss challenge, but unfortunately, 2 weeks ago on August 22nd, um, I went to go pick my daughter up from school on my bicycle, and I rode her on my bicycle. I have the male's version of a bike, and the bar across the front. She was like sitting sideways, and some kind of way her shoe got stuck in the spokes of the tire, and we both just flew forward. I don't have any idea how that happened, but we flew forward, and um, me, all I could think about is, and it doesn't seem like we were going that fast, but it seems like we flew forward, and all I could think about while we were going through the air is the bike and myself coming down on her head and crushing her into the cement. So I put this arm down and tried to break the fall, and it went boom, and my arm bent all the way back, and um, unfortunately, she and I both were stuck there, couldn't move. She hurt her foot, and hers turned out to be a sprain, and I broke my elbow. But we were both transported to the ambulance by hospital, and we took x-rays, and surgery was not done at the moment. I was referred out. I'm given pain medication and a prescription for more pain medication. Um, to take until I go and see an orthopedic. So now I went to see the orthopedic about a couple days, maybe 2 days later. I think I found one, and um, he wants to watch it before he jumps into surgery because it's not the normal break. I'm not going to go all into it, but it's not a normal break. Um, and it's the head of the radius bone. It just has a piece of the bone broken out of it. Kind of weird, but that's my story. That's why I haven't been on, and I haven't been doing much exercising. However, I have been moving around. I haven't been able to do. At first, I wasn't able to really use this arm, but I At first, I wasn't able to use my arm as much, and I was in so much pain that I did the very minimum. However, it was difficult for me to just sit down and not do anything. So I think about the second day, I took the pain medication so that it would help me sleep through the pain. And it was that day after, I think the second day, that I actually had an appointment with the orthopedic. And when I went, I was still in pain. But I had my prescription filled, and I only took it um, when I felt like I really needed it, which was usually at the end of the day when I had kind of like exerted myself more than I should have at trying to do things, and somehow, the arm is still was a little in motion, but I took it at night to help me sleep through the night and through the pain. And now the pain is very minimal. I still have some, but I'm really not taking the prescription pain medication. I do use my ginger, which I think helps a lot. However, I will, if necessary, pop a pain pill. I will pop a pain pill. But I wanted you guys to know that that is the reason why um, I did not check in and give updates on my weight loss challenge. However, I don't know if the doctor is going to want to do surgery. I have an appointment again. I had one today, and I go back again on Monday, and today is Thursday. So I will find out whether or not what he's looking at. I think his concern, as well as mine, is whether that piece of bone that is broken off, is it moving around? Because, by it being like in the upper arm, it's really close to the chest cavity, and don't want it to really maneuver too far and, cause damage to other places inside the body. But he's going to check and see, and I am more than likely, because my arm is stiff, it doesn't extend out completely like this one. And he says to try and get it to extend, but I don't want to force it before this CT scan that I'm going to have on Monday. And he tell me more of the results, because I don't know where that piece of bone is, and I don't want to force the bend and do more damage to my arm than good. However, I just want to give you guys this little tidbit of information. I think I'm going to make it another video, but no, I'm just going to go ahead and keep going. But you guys know that in addition to the consultations that I do, home health aid work, CNA work, and I have my own private clients. And I actually was led by God to start a life coaching business, and which is actually my gifts wrapped up in a business. And at first, I really didn't want to charge for the services, because the services are not really pricey, at least not right at this moment, even though I feel like I know that my life experiences, as well as work that I have done in ministries and through my job, has prepared me for this moment to be able to help people on a broader level. I still want to take a life coaching certification class. However, I am going to I have started, because God has led me to this point to go ahead and start with that. But once I get my certification changes, my prices will go up, maybe not too substantially, because my purpose is to, and my purpose is to help people. I want to make a difference in the world. I want to inspire people. That's what I've always wanted to do. Being a very sad child for many, many of years, and even an adult, I worked through that. And I know that through my experiences and what I've took to get to where I am now, it's been a happy adult, a successful adult, and a content adult, a loving person, and mainly a happy person. I love that, and that's why I want to stay right there. But and the stages that I've worked through, the changes that I've gone through, to the path that I've taken to get to where I am on a spiritual level, which in turn it shows up in my outer world, my life, and what I can see, my physical life. But a couple months ago, I know when I first started these videos, because maybe, no, I started the videos in February. So it's a couple months later. It was maybe about, I'm thinking 2 months to 3 months to the most ago. But I'm believing it was 2 months ago that God spoke to me and told me to stop working my home health aide job. And me myself, I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm like, I have my consultations, and I have, I'm at a place where I'm pretty comfortable in my life. So, but still, I'm like, I don't have that kind of faith yet to just let it all go. So I kind of held on to two clients, and I still took temporary assignment referrals per se. They weren't permanent, but I would take, some temporary assignments, like if one of my friends or something wanted to go on vacation or take a couple of days off, and they were in the business as well and wanted me to fill in for them, I would do that. Now, when I still held on to my two clients, all the while knowing that that part of that stage of my life is pretty much over as far as my life work. Now, as far as it comes down to helping someone in my family or someone I know, that's a different story, but that is something that I'm sure will be taken into consideration. But when we flew forward, it's like we were flying in the air. And I had time to actually think on that flight. And I'm like, oh my God, my daughter Victory, her head is going to be crushed. And I'm like, the bicycle in my heavy self is going to crush this child's head and crush her face and, into the cement. So, and I put my arm down to break the fall and broke my arm, but I did break the fall. And she was like, I was in so much pain. And she was too, she couldn't move. She didn't break anything, but she sprained her ankle. It was sore for a while and still kind of sore. And she said that she said the bicycle was on her leg. It was on her leg. And she was crying and talking about what's hurting. And she said, I moved the bicycle, pushed it off of her with my foot, but I didn't even remember that. And anyways, it wasn't long. Actually, it's a little lengthy, but help came, and we were transported to the hospital and help. But anyways, while sitting there, after I pushed the bicycle off her leg, the first thought that came to my mind was, no more home health aid work. That is over. Because I knew, as bad as my arm was hurting, something was broken and that I could not work and doing that type of work anymore. And the way my arm, I saw it do a number I never saw it do before. It went all the way back and it kind of freaked me out, and I swung it forward. That's probably when the bone piece just broke. But did something kind of freakish. But that was the first thing that I thought of, brought back to my attention and my memory, where God spoke to me one morning when I was doing my prayer and meditation, as I do. God spoke to me and told me to stop working. And, it's teaching me even more. I mean, I trust myself, and I know that I hear the voice of God, and I know when I hear it, but it was actually me being used to making that type of income and being comfortable with it, to actually let that go and to go into a zone that wasn't so comfortable for me. one that I wasn't so assured of, as to what would happen. But once I sat up after I hit that fall, that was the first thing that came to my mind. And I'm like, wow, this is the way, you know, obedience is better than sacrifice. So, anyways, that morning, I went to Zumba and I worked out. And I'm like, well, let me back it up one more time. The moment of August 22nd, this is the same day that I broke my arm, you guys. Um, when I got up that morning and I did my prayer and meditation, I love to sit out and just look into the trees, in the yard from here, and do my prayer and meditation early in the morning when everything is quiet. And that morning, I'm sitting on the porch, and there was God spoke to me. The Spirit spoke to me and said, "Tell your story." And I'm like, can I be honest? I'm like, what freaking story? But anyways, Spirit said, tell your story. And I'm like, what story? So I'm still not understanding the message at the moment. So I ended up getting ready, taking my daughter to school, and then getting ready for Zumba. And I went and worked out. I did my hour workout of Zumba. I'm in Zumba and I'm just doing my exercising. And after a while, Spirit spoke, said, tell your story. Don't die with your story inside of you. So, and I'm like, am I about to die? Oh, but it's not funny, but that was my thought. But Spirit's like, do not die with your story inside of you. Tell your story. So I'm like, what story? Still. So I rode my bicycle to Zumba that day. That day I rode my bicycle. And because I had committed myself to being more active since December. And I got me a little hot rod, my bicycle, and I've been riding. So that day I chose to ride it to Zumba. So after I'm riding my bicycle home, and I'm like, what story? So God said, tell your story. So after a while, I'm riding home, and God started sending me messages on what to tell. And I'm like, these are even things all the way back from my childhood. And these are things, that I had forgotten about, maybe swept under the rug because I do remember being a young child to make it through certain situations and issues. I remember of creating this fantasy world that I lived into that felt safe and happy and fun for me. Even though I wasn't so happy, but whenever I visited that place, that was kind of like my little getaway. I learned how to tune everything out and go to this place. But anyways, God started bringing information to me as to my story. So on my way home, I'm like, okay, I am going to mop the floor. I'm going to take a shower and get all queued up for a video. And I'm going to tell my story. So, um, going to pick Victory up, and that incident happened. And I didn't think about the story right then. I only thought about, came to my mind when God told me a couple months ago um, to stop working doing my home health aid work. So um, what I did is, after when we were at the hospital, it came to mind. And I'm like, wow, I was going to tell my story. And I'm saying, well, maybe this means I don't need to tell my story. But Spirit spoke to me, you know, and said, no, tell your story. It's for me to tell my story. However, I do believe that the totality of what I was going to tell of my story, it wasn't um, the completion or the angle in which Spirit wants me to come from. And I'm going to tell my story. However, I do plan to be authentic, and I'm not going to hide anything. But there was some information that I was going to tell that was not my story, but it was a part of characters who were in my story. But I feel like Spirit wants me to tell the story without telling the other people who are involved in my story, telling their side of the story, in which some information I will tell about them that I feel is a part of my story. I know it's kind of complicated, but you'll see when I tell my story. But anyways, it wasn't, I think 2 days after the day, 2 days maybe later, or maybe 3 after I broke my arm, 3, 4, it was a couple days. And I'm the person, I'm used to being very active. I'm in pain. I really can't use this arm and hand like I want to, because all of my wrist, because of where the bone was broken, it affected my wrist a great deal. I really couldn't do anything with my fingers. So I'm like, started to slip into a depressed state. Like I wanted to get sad. So I was lying in bed, and I'm like, what am I going to do now? Because I can't work, not like that. I only have my consultations, and I can't, really do even the exercise. And I'm like, now my exercising is limited. Spirit spoke to me and said at that moment, you know that everything is going to be all right. You know that everything is all right. And you know that you don't have a reason to be depressed, and that everything is working out for your greatest and your highest good. And it's like there was a nudge, like this God's Spirit just began to rise inside of my being at a time when I usually or probably would have slipped into a depressive state. That there was like a supernatural spirit or entity, and I know it was God, just started speaking to me. And all of a sudden, things switched and turned instantaneously. And I grabbed my laptop and I just started typing. And my hand was hurting and my arm was hurting, and I'm still just typing. I typed and I typed all day. And I typed up my story. And it was only at the moment, I think like 13, 15 pages, not very long. But I do want to make it in a synopsis. I'm going to add that to my website. And I'm also, you guys, I'm going to make a little ebook available as well on my web page. And the ebook is going to be for sale for something very minimal, maybe like $10, not much. But it is going to be for sale the book is, but I will give a synopsis on my page, and I will do a video as well, because I feel that after the things that are occurring in my life, I need to be obedient to what Spirit says. So I am going to tell my story, and I am going to do another video and share with you guys my story. I just want to, I don't know if I want to stand and tell my story, and I ordered a wireless microphone. Well, I really want to tell you guys, I just want to pop up and be more prepared, but it'll be here next week. And I want to stand and, I want to tell my story. And I'm probably going to do it here at home, because I want to talk in a place where I know I'm going to be uninterrupted, where I'm not going to be interrupted, and where I can really just express myself freely and wholly and be real authentic with you guys. And wow, there's some things that came up that I had forgotten about, all the things that I've overcome, and now I see why God has led me to share my story, because with the life coaching that I'm doing now, with the consultations that I'm doing now, being an intuitive spiritual advisor, spiritual healing advisor, a teacher, speaker, and life coach, that this information is needed. And it's also, I know that telling my story is going to help someone else. And, I thought about it, and I'm like, I can't be shamed. And I'm not ashamed of my story. Actually, going back over my story, during the part where I was talking about my dad, when I was typing up about my dad, it actually brought tears to my eyes to watch my growth and to watch our relationship grow and things, and to just see how much I blossomed. It makes me kind of emotional even now, but how much I blossomed from that scared, insecure, sad little girl that I used to be, and how I am now. I'm so happy, and I'm free to be happy. I'm free to be me. I don't need to ask anyone's permission to be happy. I don't need anyone's permission to voice my truth. All I need to do is stand and walk in my truth and be who the Most High has made me to be, and I stand proud and confident, and looking at where I come from and who I am today. And when I say that, materialistic things don't matter to me, but who I am spiritually is more precious than gold. It's more precious than anything. Knowing that I am more than a conqueror, knowing that God loves me and I love me, and I have others in my life who love me too, but how I can just really bask in the love that I have for myself, the confidence that I have, and the assurance that I have in knowing what my gifts and my abilities and my skills are, to see where I've come from. And I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful to the Most High. And I am going to share that story with you guys. I see this video is getting long, and I'm sorry. I know it's so long. So I can imagine how long the video is that I'm going to share my story, but I'm going to break that video up. But this one I'm not going to break up. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm just going to post it, and hopefully you can sit through it. But I also want to mention that I have started a Facebook page, which is Elevated Living Today. And you can look me up, and you guys are welcome to come and join me. And also on the first and third Monday of each month, Starting in October, I am going to start offering private life coaching classes in a private group on Facebook. And they're only going to be $30 each for each class. And the classes is going to come with, not with a lot of material, it's only going to come with the material that I'm going to cover. And I'm going to try and create little just worksheets. It's not going to be anything extensive. Not at this moment. As it grows, it will be. But I'm going to give you, you'll have the video. You'll be able to ask questions at the end of the class. And the class is going to be 30 minutes to an hour. And they're going to be 30 minutes to an hour. I'm looking at roughly 45 minutes. And I know they're not going to go, I'm not going to let them go over an hour. I don't know where the question and answer part of the class, how far it's going to take the class into. But if you are not able to make the classes at the time that the classes are scheduled, if you pay for those classes, you will have access to the video and you will have the material that is covered in the video just like everyone else has. And the way it's going to work is that on my website, I don't actually have a tab for it like I do for the consultations for you to select. However, there is a donate tab on the services page where you can go in and just pay the $30 for the class, and then you will go to the contact page and fill out the comment form, and there you can select the private coaching class, the private Facebook coaching class. You can select that there. And what you would do if you don't go by the name that you fill out on the comment form, or you can put it there and also make sure you put it in the comment section by whatever name you go by on Facebook. And what I will do is inbox you a reminder for the class, and about a couple days before, and at that time, 3 days before the class start, I will have joined you to the group so that you can be there and know. So if you pay for the class and you're not in the class 3 days before the class starts, then you'll know to actually give me an email at elevatedlivingtoday@gmail.com. So these are classes I'm going to cover information, and my coaching is from a spiritual perspective. And I believe once the inside and the internal, your spirit world, once you get that in order, your mind right, that your life follows. Once you reconform your mind, recondition your mind, get rid of those limited belief systems, things that are holding you back. There's actually so much to go. I have so much good information for you guys that I know that it's going to help you transform your life and experience a more elevated living today. And that's what it's about. And I know that the classes, and it's going to be an open forum at the end where you can ask questions. Hopefully it will be around the information that has been taught, but if not, feel free to ask. You won't come into the class, ask your questions. But the classes are going to be $30 for each class, and they're going to be given twice a month. Okay. And even if we only have one participant, I'm still going to go ahead with the class. Yes, I am, because I know it's going to take a while for the word to get around. So I don't want to prolong this video any longer, because it's up to 31 minutes. And plus I have another partial video that's like 3 minutes that I have to add to this one. But I do thank you guys for bearing with me and tuning into my channel. And thank you for watching. And as always, peace and blessings, love and light. And to you and yours, I'm always wishing everything that is wonderful and nice. Thank you for watching, and God bless. Love you guys.